Hello. Hold on. I might have to adjust something. I'm still walking. I'm still walking to the place that I want to stream from because I haven't been here in a while to this specific spot. I think it's up here though. I think so. Let's see. Here is... Okay, there's a trail that goes up this way. Show you up here. The trail that goes up this way, I think, well, I know it goes somewhere. And then there's this road off to this side over here. Yeah, Twix, only you can see to that this time. Hello, Twix. Hello, Joe Turner. Okay. Can you hear me fine? Hello, everyone. People are still coming in. Can you hear me okay? If you don't hear me too great, I do have a microphone I can put on. Ooh. So the bus was really late today, so I just got off the bus stop. Okay. And going to the place where I want to stream from. Welcome. Everyone, thank you for coming. Feel free to ask if you have any questions. Hello from Hong Kong. Welcome. I went there once. Amazing food. I would go again just for the food. Lauren Bay, hello. You hear the airplane. That's not an airplane actually. That is a truck or a bus that's on the main road down there. Now that is an airplane. Just now. Someone said, 날씨가 어때요? The weather. Okay, here I'm at one spot. Let's take a break here for a second. We're still starting. The weather here is, it's getting hot. It was raining a couple days ago. It's gonna start officially 장마. 장마 is officially every year they have a rainy season. Now it doesn't mean it's raining every day all the time, but it means that during that time you get more rain more often. And it's not my favorite time to be in Korea. In fact, it's my least favorite time to be in Korea, but I'm always here for it. And this year I believe it's starting officially from today. That's what I heard, today or tomorrow. But it's not raining here today. And next week we'll get some rain. After that, maybe some more rain, and then maybe some rain for a change. And when it rains in Korea, it is still warm, so it's during the summer. You still get the hot weather. In addition, since it's raining, the weather becomes extremely humid. So you step outside during rainy season or just during the summertime, and it feels like you just took a shower, but you're still covered with water. It's not even your sweat. It's just like humidity, and it's all like sticky. But then on top of that, it's raining. So yeah, it's not enjoyable weather. If you can, I recommend avoiding 장마, so rainy season in Korea, whenever you're in Korea. Though you don't never know exactly when it's going to be, but it's sometime around June, July-ish. But I think it changes a bit each year. I'm not actually sure when it officially is. It's always different. But yeah, welcome everyone. Someone says, 지금 한국에 어디에 있어요? That is the question. Where am I? Where is Billy? I am on a trail. Oh, there's one other person walking on this trail. I'm on a trail alongside another view of Suwon Fortress, which I've never shown you before. Now, I've shown you Suwon Fortress probably like 4 or 5 times. I think this is like the 5th time, actually maybe the 5th time I've done a stream somewhere around Suwon Fortress. but there are so many different spots around here that even if you visited here a lot, like someone like me who lives here, at least whenever I'm in Korea, I live here. Someone like me who's been to Suwon Castle and Suwon Fortress more times than I can count, and there are still new spots along the wall that I haven't been to before. So I've never been to this trail before. I'm actually not really sure where I'm going right now because I can't check my map without closing the stream. So that's fun. Tanya, hey. 저기 죄송한데요. 혹시 서장대 가는데 이쪽이 맞나요? 아, 감사합니다. Oh, okay, I'm saved. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna ask something. I do this sometimes if I'm completely lost. And today I was completely lost because I'm pretty sure where I'm going. Going to a place called 서장대, which is one specific part of Suwon Fortress. I don't need a rush. We don't need a rush here. We got plenty of time. It's a spot I've been to twice before. Oh, sorry, it's actually really steep. You don't have to watch me just breathing. Let me change the camera view for a second. There, you can see where we're going. It's really steep. Getting up here is steep. You can see the wall goes all the way around. Okay, I think we're good. Yes, and feel free to ask any questions you have. So today is I should have said this first, but today I haven't checked this morning. I might be like really close to 600,000 subscribers. Maybe like it's less than 1,000 as when I checked from yesterday. I don't know what it is right now. Anyway, it'll hit 600,000 either today or tomorrow. So I'm not worried about it. But yeah, I wanted to do a live stream around the time when I hit 600,000 just to say hello. Thank you for continually watching my videos and continually supporting me and allowing me to teach Korean, which I do love to do. But teaching Korean, of course, requires a little bit of money. And the more subscribers I have, the better that helps out with. And maybe someday if I can get enough subscribers, if I can get really big, then maybe we'll see like a GoBilly, a company or something. I don't know. We're still in the early stages of this whole thing. Let's take a second. Oh, there's this really nice tree up here. It's a really big tree that's just growing over part of the fortress area. Someone asked, okay, I do have to read this. I'm not making fun of you, but I'm making fun with you. You asked, Suwon Fortress 어떤 도시에 있어요? I'm not sure if you actually meant like which city it's in. It's in the name. Like what year was the Battle of 1812? Yeah, it's in Suwon. Suwon is a city that's located about an hour southwest of Seoul, and it has a lot of stuff to do related to nature. I'll say that. So you would not want to come here for like shopping, and I mean it's not bad, but you wouldn't want to come here for like shopping for your typical tourism stuff outside of Suwon Fortress, which I'd say is a nice tourist destination. But there's a lot of stuff here just for like you want to take a walk around, visit a park, you want to go see some like historical buildings. There's lots of stuff like that here. Kimberly, your books just came in today. 감사합니다. Much love. Puerto Rico. Thank you, Kimberly. Good luck in your studies. Yes, Suwon is famous for suwongalbi. However, it's not. Honestly, all the stuff that. Okay, I'm not sure how I should say this, without it sounding like I'm without it sounding like I'm bashing on anything. Can I actually go this way? I think so. Every city in Korea has food that it's famous for. So, for example, you can have different cities, different like small parts of cities that have like their regional, not trademark, but it's kind of like you associate it with a different area. One common example is Suwon-galbi, so galbi from Suwon. It's really just kind of a tag, and you'll find if you go to those places that you'll see lots of restaurants that have that kind of food. So if you come to Suwon, you'll see many restaurants that have galbi, or they'll call the restaurant Suwon-galbi. They'll have like a sign. Is that better than getting Suwon-galbi in Seoul, or Suwon-galbi in Busan, or Suwon-galbi in Los Angeles, California? No, it's the same thing. However, I won't say that there's no benefit to it, because like I said, there are so many restaurants that there are more restaurants for a regional food, that you get a little bit higher quality because there's more competition for it, because people, they have that in their mind, like, oh, I'm gonna eat this here. So restaurants that open serving that, it's like balancing on a rock, have more competition and therefore taste better. It's the old, why does pizza taste better in New York than California? Is it the water? Is it the New Yorkers' sarcasm? Is it their wonderfully friendly and bright personalities? Or is it because everyone thinks of getting pizza in New York, so you have tons of competition, and anything that's trash pizza doesn't survive very long? Okay, we're getting there. If anyone has any Korean questions or questions related, also feel free to ask those as well. Let's go down this way. Someone did ask something. Do you have a must-do every time you visit Korea? I have a must-go. I have several places that I always visit when I'm in Korea. This place around Suwon Fortress definitely being one of those. I come here every time I visit Korea, multiple times. Okay, let's see. This is a little bit tricky now. And I'm gonna actually be posting a video about that maybe in a few months, like my 5 must-visit places every time I'm in Korea. I have no idea where this is going now. I didn't think it was this long to get there. Anyway, that person scared me. Yeah, they're just power walking through here. Do I have any must do? Okay, that's a different question. Things I must do. Typically it's just meeting people, meeting some friends. So I must meet my friends when I come to Korea. One of those is also talk to me in Korean. I always make it a point to myself to say hi to Hyunwoo. Hyunwoo-sem every time I'm here. He's also one of my must-meet friends. I think we're getting somewhere. Is this it? Seoul-Ammun, the Western Secret Entrance. This is not where I'm trying to go, but it's not a bad start. A secret entrance called Ammun. Yeah, literally, it's like secret, like amho from password, and mun is door, so a secret, or literally, I guess, dark door, secret door. An emergency passage used to bring supplies and food into the fortress. So this was their staff entrance. Like, you know, when you go to Disneyland and you never see like people delivering stuff, this is like that for Suwon Fortress. Total of 5 secret entrances. Okay, so this is the west. Well, let's see. There's north, south, east, and west. What's the 5th? I actually haven't been to these secret entrances. I think I've seen one before. To prevent it from being seen from a distance, the wall was bent inward so that the entrance is accessible from the side. Yes, you can see that. So this thing right here makes it look like when you're not looking at it from this direction right here, it makes it look like it's just part of the wall. Ah, yeah, super secret. Start pushing the bricks. Yeah, maybe there will be like a caterpillar with an English accent that comes out or something. The question is, am I already sweating? I think I'm already sweating. That's how you stop the sweat. You smack yourself. That's the hole. Okay. The question is, do I go forward or do I go through the secret entrance? I'm gonna go. Look at this beautiful spot on the wall. I just love these random spots on the wall that have nothing in them. Okay, I didn't see anyone. I think we're safe. Okay, let's check to see what they have here. Oh, I think I found it. I think I found what I was looking for right up here. Okay. Yes, I did. I found what I was looking for. And as I expected, it's right here. Oops, wrong way. There we go. It's right here. Okay. Where we're going to, at least for right now, where we're going to, is known as Seotangbae. So it's the Western Command Post. So it's a post. Bless you. So this is a command post. So why is it a command post? Well, I'll show you. I'm gonna show you why. Just give me a second. Just wait for it. It'll take a minute. In the meantime, you can ask any questions. Oh. So first of all, someone said they're watching from Hong Kong. Where else are all of you watching from? So yeah, who's watching me from the farthest away, or maybe who's watching me from the closest? Is there anyone watching me from like right here? That would be creepy. San Francisco, Canada, Philippines, Mexico, Pennsylvania. Nice. Okay. Going up some stairs here.
Okay. I'm not sure if it's this hill, but it might have been. So the Japanese army is raining just below the gates, like down the hill, right there, it's just watching. But the Koreans were running up there. So they were
I might go back up there a little bit later. Let's see, Warren Turner. Thank you, Warren. You're from Ireland. Nice. Okay, let me read where everyone else is from. The U.S., Trinidad and Tobago, Atlanta, New Zealand, Ontario, Iowa, St. Vincent. I don't know where that is. Do I hear English? Yeah, a couple people talking. I don't want to bother them, so I'll go back up there a little bit when they're done. I think they're just kind of hanging out there. Pennsylvania, Yeongguk, South Korea. Oh, where? Houston, Michigan. Wait, no. Hold on. Wait. No. It is real. Oh my god. I saw it. And I first. Oh, it's like one of those, like, you know, someone with like some other currency, and I'm trying to check the sign, and the screen's all bright. Oh my goodness, enormous. Oh wow. Well, I guess I have lunch money for today. I was hoping to get some lunch money after this is done to eat something around here. My goodness, Enormosaurus, thank you so much. That is just insane. Oh, let me read the message. Sorry, I'm like a bit speechless because I've never gotten anything close to that before. Oh, dang, wow. Okay, sorry, now I'm gonna read it. If anyone else said anything, I apologize, I couldn't read it right now. Cheers to 6,000K, little suns in my eyes. This is roughly 600,000 won with conversion. Yeah, that makes sense, that's about right. I love your videos. Oh, you said kuku, okay. We'll talk about that in a second. I love your videos, keep up the amazing work. You've helped my Korean immensely. Consider doing a Stray Kids video similar to BTS video. So I'll talk about that also in a second. So I have two things to talk about: Kuku and Stray Kids. Stays everywhere. Would love to see it. I'm sure they would. Thank you so much. That's insane. If you want, I normally do dabs when I get donations. I was planning on doing dabs. I can do 458.54 dabs if you would like. Just let me know, Enormosaurus. It's up to you. Thank you so much. That is just incredible. And yeah, I'll say that's the largest donation I've ever gotten before. That just made my whole day. That just made my whole day today. I could just go home now, and I'm like, I got paid for lunch. Oh wow, dang! Thank you so much, Enormosaurus. 정말. I'll say in Korean since you Korean teacher anyway. 정말 대단히 감사드립니다. I thank you so much. Wow. And I've also apologized. I've been ignoring everyone else's comments since then. Let me quickly read these others. Amy in Central Pennsylvania, California, Houston, Texas, and it's suddenly really bright here. Let's see. San Francisco. Sorry, where was I? Busan. My goodness. Okay, sorry, I'm just reading really up to. Okay. Yeah. Okay, what lunch are you gonna eat? I'll think about that in a second. Sorry, I'm just quickly reading the chat so I can get caught back up. Yeah, Enormosaurus, it's up to you. Sorry, I was reading really quick. Queens, New York. Okay, now we're back. Okay, now we're back up to date. Cody says, unfortunately I missed the meetup. Oh, that's okay. Yeah, not everyone was able to come. I understand it. I'll do another one in the future. You should do each 10 dabs to help. Yeah. You personally messaged on Reddit to see how my Korean. Oh yeah, I remember that. I used to do that a few years ago, and I would love to do it again. The reason I stopped was only because the most recent time that I did it, I was keeping up with, I don't remember, I had a spreadsheet with like over 50, it was like 50 to 100 people or something, and I was messaging them once a month. And I'm fine doing that, but about half or the majority of people weren't responding to my messages, so I kind of felt like, why am I doing this to the people who aren't going to respond? And I would rather do it to people who would keep responding to my messages. Like, at least tell me that they were stopping, or at least tell me they're taking a break if they didn't want to do it. So that's why I did have a fun time doing that. And it was nice to see some of the people, I think like 12 to 20, somewhere around there, like around 12 if I remember, like stuck with it the entire year. And some even messaged me, I think like 3 years later, giving me updates, which was really cool. So I'm glad that was helpful to some people. Oh, yeah, I'm still like shocked. Okay, and it's really bright here, so I'm not going to stay up here too long. I just wanted to show you this. So this is why it's a this is why this place exists. It's kind of like you can see the entire city from here, pretty much. So it's just a good spot for overlooking the area to kind of see what's going on. I mean, you can't see too much, like, because there are all the trees here, so you can't see if there's someone like approaching you right away. But you'd probably notice like, you know, some army coming up over there or whatever, and then you can alert someone about it. And they would have these, they had these structures, at least 5 of them. Oh, it's really, really bright up there. Okay, let's go in the shade for a second. Okay. Oh. Oh. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm gonna get over the donation today. I'm just gonna be thinking about that all day. I found training my Instagram Reels algorithm with Korean learning videos is useful. Ah, okay. I haven't done too many Instagram Reels just because I haven't had too much extra time between making videos. Okay, so there were 2 things I wanted to talk about. One of them was the KK, the two Kyuk, the 2 Ks, and the other one is Stray Kids. So first of all, if you want to know how to laugh online in Korea, so not in real life, but if you're chatting, you're online, you would type a Kyuk 3 times is the standard. So that's equivalent to typing lowercase LOL in English. If you just do KK, it's kind of like something lol in a message. You wouldn't say this out loud. You wouldn't say haha. You wouldn't say something and then say KK. Like, I mean, you could, but it's kind of a little bit weird. Instead, so this is just for internet, but you can use different number of those letters. Yes, like that, like what Twix wrote. You can use different numbers to express different things. So the k is supposed to imitate the sound of someone laughing. So if you say k, it's kind of like an imitation of ha ha ha, even though no one laughs by saying that. Okay, 3 kyuk is like an LOL lowercase. It doesn't really mean you're actually laughing. It's just like haha, that's funny. LOL. K. 2 is more of like, it's like a smirk. It's like It has more of a feel. It's not like an LOL, but it's like a heh, maybe. And it's totally fine to use. On the other hand, more than 3 has the feeling of actually laughing, like typing LOL in uppercase. So if you type or like that's like you actually laughed, almost. But it expresses to the other person you're actually laughing. Sorry if the signal drops. The signal isn't too great around here. Thank you so much, Denise. I'm not sure if you heard me say that, so I'm just saying it again. Thank you so much. I saw you got all my books. And another thing is, yes, and then Billy for 44 Talent messaged, when my teammate is a pobble in the game, I type 1. Yes, 1 is negative. If you type 1, it's not like, heh, it's not like, actually it is like that. It's not like, haha, it's not like LOL at all. It's not even ha, it's more like, heh. It's like you're smirking, like you're smug, and you're kind of mocking someone, like you're saying, hey, like, I'm smiling, but I'm actually not happy. Because it shows 0 effort into laughing. So if you say something and then you put 1K, one of those kyuk after it, it's pretty much like mocking them. And it has a mean, let's see which way should I go? I'll do it on this way. These stairs look newer. It kind of sounds mean. So don't do that if you want the other person to think you're happy. Do that when you're kind of like making fun of someone. You can do it playfully, but it doesn't feel like I'm enjoying my time here. It feels like I'm just saying it to get it over with. And then on the other hand, no matter how many you write, don't do like too many. Don't do too many or it'll just look fake. Like if you just spam like the entire chat window with a bunch of them, it just looks fake. So that's not good either. So the number you use is important. It's not simply just LOL, and it's not simply just laughing. Now, if you want to actually express that you really laughed, so that you can do this, not with just yeah, Mila, that's great. If you write that number, it seems like ha ha ha. It's like an actual genuine, like you're pleased, like you're laughing a little bit. But if you want to express someone said something so funny that, no, I'm actually laughing. Like, I'm not just typing LOL or Rufflemal or, you know, those types of abbreviations. Like, no, I'm legit laughing. You actually made me bust up. You would use a verb, 터지다. 터지다 means to explode. 터지다. 터지다. And yeah, so you could say you exploded, and that's actually more like you actually laughed. And they use other words together with this, like 빵 터지다 is one. That's like I just exploded. I just erupted, basically. Like I lost it. And that's what you would just write, like literally you're writing, I actually laughed. Another one which I like is a slang expression, hyun. Actually, maybe someone else should write this. Can someone else write 터지다 in the chat? Or maybe I can do it. Doesn't give me a way to write in the chat. Bahaha, yeah. 터지다 is kind of more like bahaha, like you're actually laughing. And my favorite version of that, yes, Cody Smith, thank you. Cody, would you also do me another favor? Can you write this next one? hyun ut, like utda, like to laugh. So hyun ut, those two syllables. hyun, like 현실, and ut, utda. Someone write it so I can say yes. And yes, thank you. So Cody Smith wrote 현웃. 현웃 is a short expression that means 현실에서 웃었다. Like I actually laughed in real life. So it's not saying like raffle or LOL or even bahaha or hahaha. It's like, dude, I actually just burst up laughing right in the middle of my meeting. It has that feeling to it. And so if I actually laugh at something, I'm not trying to be just polite or say that's funny, but I actually want to express to them like, you just made me laugh. Then I'll write that. And you can use that together with 터지다. You can say like 현우 터졌어요. Like I legit just burst out laughing right now. So there are a lot of kind of fun ways you can express that you laughed, but the most standard is kkk. So 3 of those kiyoks. Now hiet, the H one is a little bit different. Hiet, it has a softer feel. So it's not like an LOL, but it's like he 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 or ha 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 ha. So if you write hiet or 2 hiets, it is the same usage of the kiyuk, where like 1 can sound a little bit rude, 2 is like and 3 is like like a standard LOL, but it has a softer feeling to it. So it's not so much like you're laughing, but it's more like you're just kind of being pleasant and you're enjoying your time. So if you hear a joke, you probably wouldn't do ha ha ha. But if you said something kind of cute or you heard someone say something a little bit playful, it's not a joke, but just playful, then you can laugh with hiet, since it has a softer feel to it. So I'll use both. You can do evil laugh. Yeah, they don't do that in Korean, but sure, it totally makes sense. Okay, back on schedule. I found some shade. I found an area that's not surrounded by other people. Like chuckling, yes, kind of like a light laugh. Yeah, lately though it's been getting hotter. Today I think it's going to be up to 89 degrees outside, and on top of that it's sunny. So it's 89 degrees, but if you're standing in direct sunlight, it's more like, it feels like you're burning, you're just 100. Yesterday I was outside. I posted this to my Instagram. Yesterday I went to visit King Sejong, his actual body. I went to see him and say hi. We high-fived, played chess. He lost. No big deal though. And it's located in Yeoju. And you have to walk a full kilometer to go see him, because his grave is really far away. He wants to be cool, so he doesn't want to have parking lot next to his grave. You have to walk there. And the whole time you're just out in the sun. And it was pretty miserable walking to go see King Sejong. I might say I don't recommend it unless you're really a fan of learning Korean like I am. So for me, it was a must do. Okay. Oh, Dante Alighieri. My name is Dante Alighieri, but most people call me Dante. Okay. I just started learning Korean this week, and your videos have been super helpful for my Korean self-study. Great content. Keep them to work. Thank you so much, Dante. You just started this week? Wow. Who remembers the first week that they started to learn Korean? I remember the first week I was learning Korean. Who else remembers theirs? Any fun experiences from the first time that you started learning? Kir, or 깔깔. So that's like so that has more of a playful, like you're goofing around feel to it. And it's not a way to express, it's not an abbreviation. It's a sound word. So it's to imitate the actual sound of laughing. Kind of like if you were to type ha 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 instead of typing kia kia kia. So or whatever, that's more of like a and sometimes those are used to imitate younger children laughing. So it's not like a ha ha ha, but more of a That sort of laugh. You might say that after you do something, playful, or you're imitating how a kid was laughing. Or maybe you're mocking someone laughing like that. Let's see here. Your 90-minute Hangul video was one of my first resources. Awesome. Glad to hear that. My first date with my future wife, I started learning Korean when I got home. Wow. She must have been, I would say she must have been really attractive or really cool or both. I don't know. I don't know your wife. How would you write a laugh that's in response to someone said like, ha? Ha, that can have many meanings in English. You could be like, ha, I won, like you lost, haha, serves you right. But it could also be like, okay, that was funny, now we're done. Like that kind of feeling, so. Okay, sorry, I was gonna quickly check to see what we also got. July 2022 I started. Oh, that's not very long ago. Enola says, last week. Irvin, do you have any advice for upper intermediate learners? What kind of material do you think we can use to get to the next level? Intermediate. Yes, I have a video. Search on my channel for a video called Intermediate Plateau, which would be specifically about that question. It'll answer it better than I could right now. Let's see. Normosaurus, Stray Kids Korean Breakdown 2024. Okay. Oh, yes, that's the other thing. The next thing I wanted to talk about after laughing. So I made a video about Stray Kids before. It was not in the BTS style. Let's just force this out. It wasn't in the BTS style that I did, where I analyzed every member and talked about how they speak Korean. It was in the grading Korean style that I did, where I specifically focused on Felix and Bangtan and talked about how they used Korean as non-native speakers. Because although, yes, they had Korean parents and they learned in different ways, in many ways, Felix is not really much different than any other Korean learner, except that he had a little bit under his belt when he started. But you can see really how he goes from a complete beginner in Korean to now sounding like completely fluent, almost like a native. And Bangtan also had a little bit different of an experience how he learned Korean, but he also had to go from regular Korean abilities to sounding like more like a native. So I did a video where I talked specifically just about those two, but I haven't done a video about all the other members, and there could be some good information in the other members, how they speak Korean as well, not just how they are learning Korean and how they're improving, but more of like what I did with BTS, where I talk about, the types of politeness levels they use, dialect that they use, the way that their personality kind of shows through their Korean speaking. That would be a different series if I were to cover them again. So yes, I normally don't take suggestions. I normally don't accept suggestions right away for new videos, but I think I'll put you, Normosaurus, I think I'll put yours in the vote that I do next. When I get back to the US later in this August, I'm going to be making a vote for the next group that I do, that I analyze. I was like, what word is that? For Hazelkata, that I analyze, yes. And I could do that. I can add them as an option, because I have a few others that I've gotten. First, I polled my Patreon members and got some good suggestions from them. And I'm going to be compiling the best of those and a couple others that I have to make a vote on YouTube, where I have my subscribers, so you, pick who I should do as the next group, and perhaps even the next one after that. So maybe I'll take like the top two. And I would like to make it a regular series, maybe like once every 2 weeks on my channel. So like there will be 4 or 5 videos in between, or 6 videos in between, and then one of those videos every other week will be a analysis video of a K-pop group member going into detail, kind of like what I did with the BTS members, which was really fun to do. It just took a lot of work, so I have to plan it in advance. I was talking about Bangtan and Felix learning Korean. I hope that they watched that video, though. I gave, especially Felix, I gave him really high praise for most improved Korean speaker. He got really good, and you can see how hard he's working at it, though. You don't simply get good at Korean just by being a member of a K-pop group, just by living in Korea. That's not really how it works. You have to use it a lot. So he must, and you could see some clips, he's like going out of his way to study Korean from books, and he's going out of his way to practice it. And that was actually why he got kicked off the group in the first place, wasn't it? Because of his Korean. they're figuring it would be too hard to work with him. And if you don't speak much Korean, you won't notice that. But when I was watching his clips, you can immediately see in his early days, he's not really able to speak much Korean. And at that level, I mean, it's great that he can speak anything, but at that level, it would just be a huge inconvenience for him to deal with the other members, to deal with training, promotion, all of that stuff if he doesn't have a stronger command of Korean. But he really did fill those shoes. Blackpink, that's another suggestion I got from my Patreons. Lisa, I did analyze Lisa very briefly in my first grading Korean video. I mentioned her along with several others. And again, that would be, let's go, there we go. And again, that would be someone that I could go into more detail if I made another video about all the members, not just Lisa, but, you know, there's Rose, and I actually don't know the other members. I don't know anything about much K-pop, so I would have to learn that, like what I did with BTS. I didn't really know much about BTS besides I knew their songs and I knew the names of all the members. No, I knew most of the names of all the members, but I didn't know anything about them. And but then when I started the video series, I had to watch hours. Like I have a whole week in my schedule, or it was like a week and a half in my Google Calendar. That's just watch RM videos, watch Suga videos, watch, you know, like that, all in a row. And I did that like a whole day. I would just spend like 8 hours watching their content and taking notes and clipping little videos I wanted to use. Yeah, it was a lot of work for that. And then another day, the next week, was one day for writing each of their videos, which was a whole nother task, because now I have the information, but now I have to condense it and, you know, pick parts that I want to talk about and organize it and make sure I'm not making any big mistakes. And I'm pretty happy with how it went. I don't think I did too many, I don't think I got too much wrong about them, despite the videos being like 20 minutes each and making 7 videos. I think I did a pretty good job. It's like a fly. Yeah, BTS has so much content. I didn't watch all their Run BTS episodes or anything. I couldn't have done that. That would have taken too long. But I did watch a lot of individual episodes, and I watched a ton of clips, especially. You're gonna convert me to become a K-pop fan. I don't know if that's gonna happen. I haven't been a huge fan of K-pop. This is not the best. What even is this? There we go. Yeah, the thing that I use for my camera gimbal, it's not really the best. I got it like $60 or something. It works though, but it's not the best. Okay. So I'll take a few more questions and then we're gonna move. I'm gonna go down that way a little bit and see what else we can find. I also see the other place, I did a live stream from here last time. There's like a big center, a big area, and an entrance to, yeah, that is that. And I also see, oh, and I see the other area of Suwon Fortress. Sorry, let me show you. You will not be able to see it, but if you could see it, there's another area of Suwon Fortress that goes right along there. And there, you can't see it in the camera, but right there is where I did a live stream once before. Also, down here, you can see this area, this kind of like, it looks like a stadium, but it's just a flat area. And that's where I did another live stream as well, when I walked up the hill to go see a big golden Buddha, which is probably somewhere around here. I can't see through the trees. And then, yeah. Is that the live where you got lost? No, the live where I got lost was actually in Seoul. That was in near Gwangju, which is a different area of Seoul where I was staying last fall. Every year I'll go to Korea like twice. And right now I'm in Suwon, which is where I stay most of the time. But when I wasn't in Suwon, I'll be staying in other areas of Seoul. So last time, the area that I was in had a park not too far from it. Yeah, it was like maybe like 20-minute walk to the park. And then that's where I did the live stream, and that's where I was walking from and got completely lost, but ended up back at the spot where I started and then took a taxi. Did I take a taxi? No, I just walked. That's right, I just walked. I remember. I was trying to catch a taxi and I couldn't. I ended up just walking all the way back home. It was like 40-minute walk or something. I'm wanting to visit summer of 2025. Dawn, why wait so long? Why not come tomorrow? M Twix, I won't forget that. Yeah, neither will I, nor will my legs. That day I walked quite a lot. And it would have even been better if I didn't have an appointment later that day. But I did. If I didn't, I wouldn't have minded staying out so long. And I wouldn't have minded getting lost. But I did have an appointment later that same day. So I was like, oh no, I have to get back. Like I only had like an hour to get back, or 2 hours maximum. Tanya Hoy, probably a thing called money. That's true. I mean, I did get like a $450 donation just a little bit ago, which a few years ago would have paid half of a plane ticket. Yeah, really, I used to pay $1,100, just under $1,100 after tax for my round trip ticket to come to Korea, and now it's double that. Now it's like $2,000 for the exact same ticket. It's yeah, very expensive. And I understand. I'm going to Korea in October and looking at hotels. I don't have any recommendations because I've never stayed at a hotel before. So I'm not sure what specific hotel chain you'd want. I'll just say if you find any chains that you recognize the name, they're going to be, so they're more similar to like a place that you would get in the States. Those are going to be also very expensive. So you can expect the same prices that you would pay if you were staying in the States at those ones. For example, like Hilton or Marriott or stuff like that, or the Holiday Inn. Any of those ones, I think you'll find them here as well. But then you might pay $200-300 a night in the States for that. You'll also pay $200-300 a night for them in Korea, or maybe even a little more depending on the area. I would recommend getting an Airbnb. Yeah, let's see. Someone just mentioned that. Audrey says, I'm staying in an Airbnb. Yeah, I would say do an Airbnb because you can find anything. You can find them in any price range. Now, you're not going to get a very nice place if you're looking for somewhere that's like $20 a night. And I know because I've tried those before. They're not that great. You get what you pay for, but they exist. So if you really don't care that you have to take a shower while crouching down to the ground and using a bucket, or if you really don't care, you don't have hot water the first 5 days you're there, like what I had this time. If you're okay with that sort of stuff, then yeah, Airbnb is great. And if you want to spend $100 a night like you would at a hotel, then you can get something that's a little bit nicer and closer to a hotel. But I would say if you're looking for something that's similar to what, this is a fly. If you're looking to something that's similar to what you would get in the States, so you're okay spending like $100 a night or $200 a night because you're not going to be here very long, just go to a hotel. Don't do Airbnb. But if you want to really squeeze your money and you want the cheapest place possible, then yeah, definitely try it. As far as areas, that would then depend on what you want to do. Do I have to learn Hanja? A few people, or someone asked multiple times. Do I have to learn Hanja? Eventually you'll learn it. Eventually you'll end up learning a lot of it because you'll see it in Korea. It's still used, but the stuff that's used isn't necessarily like if you see like tons of Chinese writing, it's not quite that in most areas. And the use cases for it are limited. So newspapers, sometimes signs, you'll see bits and pieces here, but you'll also see stuff written in Hangul anyway, if it's important. It's like store names or like titles on tops of documents. It's also written in Hangul anyway. So no, you don't need it, but yes, it's beneficial and you'll end up learning some of it. But I wouldn't go out of my way to focus on learning it right away because there are other things that are more urgent besides Hanja. Hanja is more like for people who are already good with Korean and you want to level up a little bit more, especially like advanced level. Okay, let me just show you a little bit more of the view. Enormosaurus says, I considered Airbnbs also. I had some poor experiences in the States. Yes, I'll, as someone who's done it in Korea, I'll tell you that I haven't had a really good experience in either in Korea. So if you want my actual reviews, the last time I stayed in a $15 or $16 a night apartment located in Seoul, it was in a really good location. You have to walk up a hill for 10 minutes. It was a really steep hill to get to the apartment every day, but it was okay. I'm fine with exercise. The place was literally the size of my bathroom in the States. And I'm not saying that as a flex, like I'm bragging that I have a big bathroom in the States. It's that the room was ridiculously tiny. Like, you know, including my shower and my sink. It was that big. And that's where I have to put all my equipment, my suitcase, everything I have, you know, hang my clothes, my equipment, my laptop, the TV was in there. All there was room for was a bed, and there was a cabinet for clothes, and there was a TV, and then there was this like 1 foot section where you can kind of walk down the area. And the bathroom in there itself was the size of like a broom closet. So, in addition to that, it was also kind of dirty. It smelled because it was located halfway under the ground. It was what's known as a panjiha, literally half basement apartment, like what you've seen in Parasite in that movie, kind of like that type of apartment minus the flooding. But I was happy with it because it was cheap and I wasn't really at my apartment most of the time. So if you're planning on staying inside your apartment, then you want to get a nice place. Oh, also, like, the internet didn't even work when I got there, which was also frustrating. TV didn't work. It was like all static. I feel like they didn't even test it. Like, they didn't turn it on. They just said, we have TV, we have Wi-Fi. So I had to deal with that for the first day and contact them. The place that I stayed at most recently, which I'm not at right now, that place had no hot water for the first 5 days. And when I told them they had no hot water, they responded by trying to teach me how the boiler works. I'm like, hey, I don't mean this to sound rude, but I've been living in Korea a while. I know how to use a boiler. And they sent someone to the wrong apartment. Then they said, oh, sorry, we'll go to the right apartment. They came to my apartment, didn't test it, and left and said, hey, it works fine. So yeah. And then the place that I'm currently at right now, I guess I'll talk about it after I leave. It's not perfect either, but it's a little better, but it's also much more expensive than the last place I was at. So yeah, you never get a perfect experience, but you choose Airbnb or something similar to it, some sort of couch surfing app. You choose that not for the great experience, but for the price. Oh, joking. I was walking by and a couple Korean women were walking up and they saw me holding my camera up, so they knew I'm streaming, and one of them like waved to me, but I'm like, oh, it's from this side. That's one thing you'll notice in Korea, though, is generally to strangers, to foreigners, to travelers, that Koreans are very friendly and seem very open. So it feels like you're welcome to be in Korea, which is nice. Who here has been to Korea before? I guess that's a better question. Who has already visited this country? So many steps. Actually, this is not too bad. And every day in Korea, I'm getting an average of 8,000 to 10,000 steps. I checked. Some days it's like 18,000. When I don't do anything, it'll be like 7,000, 6,000. So it's really easy. Ollie Rowe says, nope. So you were there in April of this year. April would have been really nice weather. I wish I could have come here in April. Not yet, Twix. Why not, Twix? Why not? You need to come here and get lost in the country by yourself to have the real experience. Iksan, nice. Iksan was the not quite anymore, but a few years ago, that was like the hot spot to be, where everyone was hanging out there. It still kind of is, but it moved. I'm not sure where it is right now. Every year, every 2 years, the popular place to be in Seoul will switch. And anyone who lives in Korea knows what I'm talking about. So maybe about 8 years ago or so, it used to be Hongdae. So if you want to hang out, like you want to know where is everyone at, it was Hongdae. Then that stopped. Nope, not Hongdae anymore. Hongdae's still busy, but for different reasons. It's not where you go to hang out so much. It's more just where people go for bars, for clubs, that sort of thing is Hongdae, and that's it. But it used to also be like that's the place to go to hang out for just hanging out with your friends. So I used to meet my friends there all the time. And then it moved, and then it moved again, and then it was in, for a while, it was in, actually, I can't remember. Anyway, it was on a flight. No idea. I'm looking forward to getting lost in Korea one day. I'm saving up. I'm saving up to get lost. It really gives the expression "get lost, dude" a much better meaning. I'll ask one last time, but I have a feeling you don't want to answer. What is your MBTI? Is it a secret? I think I'll say it's a secret, but it's not really a secret. I've said it before. You can guess. You can guess my MBTI. If you get it correct, I'll tell you. Ooh. So, let me show you this. You can't really read it because of the quality, but whenever you see water fountains in Korea, in this case, this one's like a dragon with a straw. This one's, he's got a, okay, this one's got like actual proper plumbing on it. So whenever you see stuff like this in Korea, don't just drink it normally, because there are places that are set up for like foot washing stations, or they're maybe set up for like just washing off something. But if it's drinkable, there's always a sign. So in this case, it is. It'll say 이 먹는 물 공공시설은 우리 시에게 지정하여 관리하는 시설입니다. So this is a facility that's managed specifically by our city for public usage for drinking water. So this drinking water is publicly managed to be clean, and they say 깨끗하고 질서 있는 이용 부탁. So please keep it clean. So take good care of it. So you can drink it. You can drink straight from the dragon's mouth if you want, if you're so inclined. That's the train that I took last time. There are all sorts of guesses. No one's guessed it exactly right. Some people have gotten it close, though. Oh, wait. Monique Walker got it. Monique Walker, you are correct. I am ISFJ. I'm glad it's coming out of the mouth. Well, there are only two options, but I guess you're right. When push comes to shove, I prefer this side. Yeah, so you can refill water here. This is what most people use it. I don't know mine because there is a cost to check. No, the MBTI is not a real science test anyway. Sorry if you're expecting that. Don't take my word though. Just look it up. Just Google it. Search the MBTI Wikipedia page and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's just for fun. Just opening the water. It's just for fun, and of course it's completely free. You can just search free MBTI test online. You'll find them. They might say sign up with an email. Just give them a spam. Just give them like a spam email address you don't use to get your results if they do that. So yeah, it's not scientific or anything, but it's fun. Okay. Originally, this was burita. This was barley tea in here. But I finished drinking that and I refilled the bottle. There was like a tiny bit left at the bottom, and I refilled it all with regular water, but it still tastes like barley tea. Because the barley tea I had in here in the first place was an extra strong version. It was called black barley tea, Black Burita, which is my favorite because it's really, really strong. But when you add water to that, then it goes back to tasting like normal barley tea. I feel like Billy is extroverted on camera but needs a lot of quiet time to recharge. That's probably correct. But it's not that I need time to recharge so much, it's that I end up recharging anyway by going back home and editing videos, charging my batteries. I mean, actually charging my batteries, like for my camera, transferring data. That stuff ends up being my recharge time. So ISFJs are the most extroverted introverts. I think you'll find a lot of people on YouTube, including myself, are introverted, shy people. Not everyone. A lot of people are just, goofy, or they're really extroverted. They love meeting people, like going out of the way. And I like that too. So the MBTI is just more of a general, like, what do you prefer? Do you feel recharged by meeting other people, or do you feel recharged by spending time alone? And I usually feel recharged by spending time alone, but that doesn't mean I don't like meeting people. In fact, I do. I like meeting new people. It's fun. Just a different type of personality, I guess, than most people expect from a YouTuber. But having known many other YouTubers, it's not that rare. Oh, it's bright. Okay, wait. I'm planning on going down, but I see something I've never seen before. Not this tree. Behind this tree. Introverts unite alone in our houses. Yes, that's my mantra. 성신사. Okay, I've never seen this before. Maybe I've walked by, I'm sure I've walked by this before, but I've never checked it out. It was built to house a spirit tablet. 화성을 지키는 성신에게 제사를 지내는 사당이다. That's not what the Korean says. So they translated this kind of differently, unless it's later. No, they translated this differently than the Korean, but it could still be accurate. So anyway, it said it was built for doing 제사. 제사 is like you put food on the table for the spirits. That's the simplest way to say it. So it's to kind of not worship, but like say thanks to a spirit who is protecting Hwasong. So Hwasong, in this case, Hwasong Fortress. So that's actually in the name itself. 성신사. So that's the sa is like the temple for the spirit, the 성신. So yeah. Anyway, pay homage. Pay homage. Yeah, feet. Okay. After the completion of the fortress, the retrospect here. So it's just kind of like a good luck charm place for saying, hey, protect our Suwon fortress. In this case, let's see, this was demolished in the early 20th century. Okay, the early 20th century. That would have been the Japanese occupation then. And it was reconstructed in 2009. Okay, that's why it looks so new. And in this case, I would say the spirit, all of that stuff that they did worked out for them, because Suwon Fortress is still around. In fact, it's one of the only like major structures that's still around. Although it also got destroyed in pieces, it was able to be reconstructed. So what you see today of Suwon Fortress is, for the most part, and in some sections it is 100%, but for the most part it's still what it was before. Some areas were destroyed and they reconstructed it with newer materials, but it's the same structure, same process as before. Okay. 화성성신 지왕. I think I'm trying to read the Hansan here. It says 화성성신, and then I think that's 지왕. So that's to the spirit of the Suwon fortress. I'm not going to go inside though. This is where you would do 제사 normally. So at this table. I'm not sure if when they do it. But I will say I'm pretty confident that they still do it. In fact, they probably still have some workers that will come in to do a 제사 and take pictures and record it. I don't know, maybe once a year. There isn't any information about when they do that though, written here. But I'm sure they do. Do they film movies where you're at right now? Not right here. I mean, maybe they filmed something in front of here, but this building doesn't look old enough because it was constructed in 2009, well, rebuilt in 2009. So it wouldn't be how it was originally necessarily. But they do film videos, they do film movies around the fortress all the time. And there are some areas in the fortress that are more like, that look more like they're used for filming than others. Best on the stream. Okay, I'm gonna try going down. I'm in a pretty good mood though. I'm looking at the total donations for the stream. It's at $468. It's the most I've ever gotten for any stream ever. I know I said ever already. Okay, feel free to ask any Korean questions as well. How many steps are you at? I can't check until I finish because if I minimize this, it'll close the stream. Yeah. Bless you. I always want to say bless you when I hear people sneeze, but they don't do that in Korea. But I still feel like my natural instinct is to tell them that. As for steps though today, I'm not really counting myself. We'll find out later, but I don't know. I'm gonna guess that from a 2-hour, say if I do this for 2 hours, a 2-hour stream, maybe I'll get like 4,000 steps during it or something. That plus the steps to get here and go back home and go eat lunch and everything maybe will make an 8,000 to 10,000 step day. So literally no big deal. My legs won't even be tired from that. But if I get over 15,000, then my legs will be a little tired for that day. And over 20,000, they'll be tired for the next day. In fact, that's something I really love about being in Korea. Anyone else who lives in Korea will know this. It's impossible to not lose weight if you're eating Korean food and you're not driving everywhere because you're forced to walk. There's so many places you just have to walk somewhere to get there. You want to go out and get a snack? You have to walk there. You have to walk to the bus stop. Then you have to run to catch the next bus and then run to cross the street and then walk, upstairs in the restaurant because the first floor is busy. And then when you eat Korean food, unless you're just only eating snacks all day, some people do that, unless you're doing that, it has so many vegetables in it. Like you say, I want to get some, Korean beef. So you get like 200 grams of beef. That's a lot. It's like 2-person portion. You eat 200 grams of beef, but then on top of that, you had like another 200-300 grams of just fiber from all the other vegetables. It's like everything here is like pushing you to be healthy in some way. It feels like. Now, of course, you can avoid that, but still, lots of it is geared in that way. Okay, let's see. Lots of bugs. My wife has a monthly sub to a guy who sprays around the apartment and puts down new trash. For a second there, I thought monthly sub. I'm like a monthly subscription, like they're paying like a streamer. I was thinking she's paying some guy online who's phrase bugs in their apartment, and then I read the rest of your message and it makes sense. 가장 좋아하는 한국 음식. Perfect up until the object marker there. So 가장 좋아하는 한국 음식이, and then you're just missing the what, the word for what. So 뭐예요? My 가장 좋아하는 한국 음식은 순대예요. 순대 or 갈비. It's difficult to pick my absolute favorite, but it would be one of those. Sundae is the Korean blood sausage, and then 갈비 is garbi. That's the meat. So the ribs, beef ribs, or they also have pork ribs. Both are really good. Okay, now I'm in a parking lot for. Yeah, okay. I think I know where I am now. And it's suddenly really bright. You keep doing this and we will support you until the end. Is that a threat or a blessing? Support you until the end, Billy. I'm about to finish your Korean Made Simple book 1 and just ordered 2. Awesome. Remember, don't rush. It's not a race. You're doing great. If you're on the trail and you're practicing, you are learning. You don't have to you don't have to push yourself to go faster than you can actually use. A thread of support, yes. Okay, this is not a bus stop. I just want to stay here for a second. Whoa, that was way lower than I expected. Okay, let's see. I've gained more weight in Korea. That I'm a heavy gainer, so not exercising it much. Yeah, I don't mean it to say that you can't gain weight in Korea, that you have to be skinny in Korea or anything like that. No, your lifestyle obviously will dictate that, and it is entirely possible to stay at home all day, order food from restaurants, even Korean food. Just order food from apps, eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's entirely possible to gain weight. It just feels like if you live the more standard lifestyle of most Koreans, which is like go to work, wake up early, take the train or the bus or something. When you live that sort of lifestyle, it's harder to. It's more encouraging you to lose weight. It's just how it works. Daniela, thank you so much, but you have to convert that. I have no idea if it's like $1 or $10, but let me check so I know how many dabs to do for you. Hello, Billy. Long time no see. Yeah, hasn't been that long. I totally remember your name. I recognize you right away. Got here late. Okay. Are you at Suwon Fortress? Yes, I am at Suwon Fortress. Last time I went there, I saw a Pomeranian dog at the top of the... looking fresher than me. MX. I'm not sure what MX, how much in MX that is. That's Mexican pesos, right? Someone please translate that. I mean, what's the word? Convert. That's the word I was wanting. Convert that into US dollars so I can understand it. But I think it was a few dollars or $10. I have no idea. But thank you so much, Daniel. And I actually was all the way up at the top. I was looking over the city. Now I keep walking here. And I walked down to the surface level because I'm going back to a spot that some of you will recognize. Back here. $11. Thank you. I was thinking it's either $2 or $10. This is the path that I went one of the times last year where I walked down here and I walked up there to there. Let's see if I can get this on camera. There we go. There it is. I walked up to here. Who remembers that live stream? Sorry, I don't want to make you sick by zooming in and out really fast. That day, originally, I was planning to do a live stream from inside of this building right here. Hwasong Haenggung. I'm saying it really slow. Haenggung, which is the like the palace area. And I've been inside here a bunch of times, but I was trying to do a live stream from here that one day, and the one day I came to see it, it was closed. Yeah, the bell tower was unlocked. That's right. I remember that. So I went all the way up there. Because we're in time for something. Okay, check this out. Now he's gonna start breakdancing. Whoa. I can't clap, I'm holding the camera, but all of you clap instead. Let me see if I can get a better view if I move over here. Brooms hate this one. Oh, sorry. It's the... There we go. The guy just shouted out, "Attack!" Said bow. Okay.
저희 무인 식사기 진행을 함께 해주신 여러분들께 감사드리며 이상으로 무인 식사기 시범을 모두 마치겠습니다. 지금부터 저희 공연장들과 함께 사진을 찍고 좋은 추억 담아가시기 바랍니다. 잠시 안내 말씀드리겠습니다.
Should we get a picture with them?
바닥에 떨어져 있는 집단이나 대나무 조각은 손이 베일 수 있으니 만지거나 가져가는 일이 없도록
The announcer's like, yeah, you can come take pictures with them, and blah, 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 it's closed, and it's finished, thanks for attending, all that stuff. Okay.
We have come to the end of performance, please, but we go close to performers. Now, outside of the red line, we are going to have photo time. So please take pictures with the motor's performers and make great memories. 아울러 화성의 문 안으로 입장을 원하시는 관람객분들께서는 10분로 왼쪽에 있는 매표소에서 티켓을 구입하여 입장하여 주시기 바랍니다. Ladies and gentlemen, now the main entrance is closed due to the photo time and clean up. So please visit your left side of ticket office if you're going to come inside the palace.
So now you can, there are people here that are getting pictures with them, which is really cool. And then that's the entrance over there. I've seen this show before, actually, a few years ago. Maybe 2017, 2018, I saw this show before. But it's just so random that they're doing it right now when I walk by. Or at least they're finishing it up while I walk by.
자, 모여봅시다.
Traditional distortion guitar. Yeah. Well, they didn't have as many pedals to choose from back in the Joseon Dynasty. It was just pretty much the simple stuff like distortion. They had like the wow pedal, that stuff. It really does look like the palace scene in Daechuita. I don't know what that show is. That a show? Sorry. Daechuita. What's the Korean title of that? I'm trying to read it. I'm trying to read it how it would be in Hangul. I'm not sure. Oh, and Augusty. Okay, I'm sorry. I haven't kept up with his new songs. I just know he released a new album. Valara, hi from Melbourne. 6 months into learning and so appreciative of the resources you put out. It's helped so much and I'm glad I could catch a live. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I think Melbourne, that's where my, I actually have some family that are there right now. I've never been there though. Thank you so much. Valara. Oh, and then another one. TR. TR, $10. Thank you so much. TR, there's no message there, but if you say something, I'll read it. Thank you so much. Valara says, pop by, I buy you a coffee. Okay. If I go to Melbourne, I'll be like, I'm just gonna ask everyone on the street, excuse me, do you know where I can meet a Valara? She said she's gonna get me a coffee. I meant to put a message in super tired. It's okay, I appreciate it anyway. Thank you so much. Hold on, it's really sunny here. I can't read the screen. Let me go back to some shade. I'm just gonna hang out around here for a second, since there's some shade here anyway. Have you had the corn latte? No, I have not. Lucky says, have you seen K-pop idols when you're walking around? I mean, technically yes, but no one like big enough that you would know. I'm gonna walk over here to a shaded area for a sec. Still over there, lots of people over there. I don't want to bother them. Thanks for helping me learn Korean over the past 5 to 10 years. Thank you, TR. That's a long time. Awesome. Ever young. Hey, 이천 감사합니다. Well, thank you, everyone. Do you have a message too? If you do, I will read it. I'm just going over here to some shade. I'm walking over to the park area. There's no shade here. So someone asked, have I seen Korean K-pop artists just walking around the streets? I mean, I've seen some people who I know are famous, but I couldn't recognize them. But you could see like they're with their team. I've seen a couple people driving by me, like stuck at a crossroad, and they drive by in their car, and someone I'm with will be like, oh, that was so-and-so. I'm like, okay. I met some celebrities. Yesterday I met a famous comedian, but none of you would know him. In fact, I didn't know him, but the people I was with knew him, so I got a picture with him. I'm like, cool. I wish I could have said I'm his fan. Korea, though, is quite small, and most people are in or around Seoul. Even if they don't live here, they'll work here, so it's possible to see anyone. You just have to know where to look. And I do know some of the places to look, I just don't go there. Okay, there isn't any shaded area around here. So I'm going back to where I was again. Do you have a place in Korea that is on your bucket list to visit? Not quite that strong. I would like to visit the East Coast because I've never been there, like the northeast coast area. So anywhere in Gangwon-do, I would like to visit there. But I don't have any plans yet, so I'm not sure when I can go. I'm gonna go back over here. Here's kind of shaded. Sit down here for a second. Oh, Leia! I found your channel about 4 months ago, and I love your... Oh, it disappeared. And I love your content. Thanks a bunch for sharing your abundant knowledge of Korean, even if you don't think of yourself as fluent. Well, I definitely think of myself as fluent. I don't consider myself native, but yeah, I'm fluent. I can talk about that in a second. Thank you so much, Leia. That's another lunch. That's my lunch also for today. So I already have my lunch paid for today from the first donation. But that's my, okay, that'll be my dinner for tonight. Thank you so much, Leia. I haven't seen a ton of your videos, but my attention span is tiny. What are some good ones to watch? If you have a short attention span, I have the beginner course, which I'd say they're all pretty short. Every lesson is around, it's under 10 minutes. So that might be a possibility. Other than that, actually I'd say that's probably the best choice because all of the videos are short. And it's a good solid beginner level, like it's a good solid step into the beginner level. Well, I guess they're cleaning everything up right now. Oh, I'm in the shade, but why does it feel so, like my eyes are like hurting to adjust to the light? There we go. The beginner course. Yeah, the beginner course, that's what I recommend. And that's why I made it, just because I wanted to have something that I can tell everyone to go to without telling people like, oh, you have to buy the book to start learning Korean or something like that, which is, you know, it's not true. So now I can just say, watch the course. I have so many notes from the beginner's course, page after page. Oh, wow. Is Korea humid? Right now, not so much, a little bit. But it will get humid, especially next month, July and August. It's hotter and humid, so it'll get more humid then. But right now, it's still kind of okay. It is very sunny though. So I feel a little bit humid, but it's from my own, it's a little bit of my own sweat. It's not from the air. Ryan TV. Oh wow, I was just there in Suwon. If you're there, make sure you tell your wishes to the tree inside. The tree. To the tree inside. Oh, inside of here. Okay, sorry. I was like, what tree are you talking? I haven't been inside of here in a long time. I visited this place as recently as last summer. I was here. I did a live stream here, if you remember. But I haven't been inside there for probably since like 2016 or 2015, the last time I went inside. So I don't really remember the stuff that's in there. And I actually don't think it's open right now. Like the doors are open, but there's a line of people outside in a different section. So I think right now it's closed and they'll be letting people in a little bit later. I'm not sure what time. Let's see. It's 11:30. I'm not sure. Yeah, and I won't be able to go in there anyway because I'll stop streaming at noon, so 30 minutes from now. And by the time, if they open at noon, then that would already be too late. And plus I'll have to get lunch then anyway. The yellow dust. Right now there's none. There is some yellow dust, I think around March. I'm not sure exactly when it comes. But no, right now it's fine. It's the old tree with a new one growing through it. Yeah, I don't remember it. I heard of it, but I don't remember what it looks like or anything. Air quality these days is okay. Yeah, also air quality, not too bad. When I first came here last month, the air quality wasn't too great on some days, and I'm quite sensitive to that. So I would just wear a mask outside, which helps. That fixes everything. But these days it's a little better now. Lauren Holton, I watched an Andy Samberg movie, and I keep seeing the resemblance. I've heard that a lot. I've heard Andy Samberg almost as many times as I've heard Charlie Puth. Charlie Puth, I could see it a little bit if I'm like smiling. He does kind of have like a similar face as me. Andy Samberg, maybe when I'm not smiling. Noise. But specifically, it's Andy Samberg in Brooklyn 999. I think it's what everyone's referring to. Plus, the character also wears Jake, Detective Jake Peralta, he also has a shirt like this sometimes. So I think that helps it as well. That's what makes people say I look like him is that. And then the same hair color. Okay, let's go over here. Oh, it is bright. Andy, if you have a lot of hair, I mean, not too much, just a regular amount. In fact, I should get another haircut soon. The shirt probably does, yeah. I saw in some clips he has this type of shirt underneath his jacket. Okay. Any other Korean questions? Feel free to ask if you have any Korean questions or questions about Korea. That's what I'm here for. That's what my channel is for, as you all very know. How do you manage to wear the same shirt for every video? There's a secret. I usually don't talk about this too much, but I actually have a secret for that. It's I have a special machine. I don't know, maybe it's a prototype. I'm not sure if everyone else has access to this. It's called a laundry machine, and it's real magic. It lets you wash, or as they say, launder, a shirt or other clothes, even any clothing you can imagine. And it allows me to wear the same piece of clothing more than once. Trick, thanks for all you do. Been following you for a while, and I'm in BA. Oh, Bangtan Academy, nice. But I'm a teacher in DC, and I'm not good at being consistent, so I don't retain vocabulary. Yeah. What are suggestions for learning under a really hectic schedule? Okay, you have two questions in one. I'll try to answer them quickly, but thank you so much, Trick. So retaining vocabulary is only about one thing, and that is, are you practicing it? But that's more fundamentally, are you allowing yourself to hear that word, to experience it in real life and use it in real life? Because as long as it stays in a vocabulary deck, it's not going to be in your mouth ready to use. So when you see a building, you don't have to think, what's that word for that? It's ready to go, the word building, because you've heard it so much and you've used it so much. And if you just wrote the word 건물, building, down on a vocab deck and just look at it and read it a bunch of times, you could do it 100 times, that word's not going to be ready to go. When you see a building, you're going to have to think, what was that word? I've done it 100 times. Oh, that's right, 건물. And by the time you say it, the person you're talking to has changed the subject or they've walked away. And the only way to bring the word from the back of your head into your mouth and ready to go is by using it. So you have to practice using those words, making sentences, trying to incorporate new vocabulary into your conversation, even if it's on purpose. You could even tell your friend, today I studied Korean, I learned these words, and say the words. That's good enough sometimes, but you have to use it so that you can get it ready for next time. And for a hectic schedule, trying different ways of studying. So just ways of studying that require less time to do it. So for example, you watch a video that takes 10 minutes that has a lesson, but you just take notes during the 10 minutes and then that's it. Now you go back to the rest of your day. Later in the day, you have another 5 minutes and you come back and you read those notes. Okay, great. Then later in the day, you're using the bathroom and you have another 5 minutes and you read those notes again. That's just as good. In fact, that's even better than a 20-minute study session that someone does by sitting down and focusing for 20 minutes, because now you have all that extra time where you're reviewing it and thinking about it throughout the day. So just break up your schedule. It's okay, whether you do an hour at once or an hour in minutes throughout the day. It doesn't really matter that much. And I have a study guide. You can get the free version on my website. I have a study guide video I posted earlier this week where you can kind of plan some of that stuff. If you know when you're going to have gaps, then you can actually set goals, and then you can reach those goals in pieces. So that would probably work for you as well. Let's see. Let me take another question. I'm reading Korean translation of Goosebumps. I loved those books. I used to read all of those books in elementary school. I was a huge fan of R.L. Stine. In fact, Goosebumps is what got me interested in writing as a kid. And being interested in writing is what got me interested in teaching Korean. So in a way, Goosebumps is part of the reason Go Billy Korean exists. The vocab is reused over and over, so each book gets easier the further I get. Yeah, if I've tried going back and reading some of my favorites, I can't make it very far. They're just written so simply. Danny walked into the door. The door was dark and spooky. The door had like it's like really simple, a lot of it. But I liked it. Enormosaurus, that's a fun fact. Yeah. I'd say that was the main book series that I was interested in reading as a kid, where I actually liked getting the next book. Anyone else remember Scholastic book fairs? Those were where it was at. You tell your mom there's a book fair. She gives you like a crisp $20 bill, and you're like, you go to the book fair, you get like 3 books that you want, including like a Magic Eye book, and then latest Goosebumps, and then like a bookmark that was 25 cents because that's all you had left. Yes. Scholastic book fairs. Yeah, those are great. You walk in. So, for anyone who doesn't know, I don't know if they do these in other countries, but Scholastic is just a book company. They have like a publisher, but they publish a lot of the books you have for school. And they would have book fairs where once or maybe a couple times a year, they would announce them. They'd send home like an ordering book, but then they would also have like a physical location you would go to at school. Like your teacher would say, hey, everyone go to the book fair. You know, your class for 1 hour of the time, you go to the book fair, which was in like the auditorium. And all of the books that they wanted to highlight to sell were set up in the auditorium area. And you walk around, you pick up what you want, you buy it right then and there and take it back to class. Or kids who had lots of money would also order books in advance from the little, like the newspaper ordering book that you would get along with, like your teachers would give out. So you could get those as well. And those would be delivered to your class as well around the Scholastic event. So it was great because it would have, like, you might not think you want to read a book necessarily, but it would introduce you to new books that you never knew existed. It's just a big hit of nostalgia thinking about that. So you would be like, oh, I don't even know, I don't want a book to read. But then you'd look in Scholastic Book Fair and it would have like science fair kit, and it would say like 500 experiments you can do at home, includes all materials required. And it was like $25, and you'd be like, oh, I actually want that. And then you go to the book fair and you buy that, and you get like, oh, I want this book. This is like a cool picture book, or this is like a pop-up book that my friend wanted. So it just kind of got kids excited about books. Yeah. They used to do World Book Day in your school? Ah, in the UK. Okay. Books to ask the library to get. Yeah. So because they're trying to sell the books to kids, they would pick the ones that kids are most interested in, which made it better even for kids, because then they're books you want. It wasn't like going to a library. It was like, you want all these books sort of feeling. It was the cool books. 안녕하세요. 저는 이제 세종학당에서 중급 반에 발음이 조금 이상해요. Should I be worried? No. Pronunciation is something that you can, as well as intonation, you can only get better at it through lots and lots of exposure to the language and speaking practice. It's not something that you can train without also getting good at Korean anyway. So I would never say you have to focus on improving your pronunciation beyond just the basics. Like if you can say something that's intelligible, if you can understand basic Korean, you're good. Your pronunciation's good enough for where you want it to be. So, for example, if you cannot make any of the double consonant sounds at all, then I would say train for that. If you can't distinguish this sound, then yes, you can train to do that. And you do that by shadowing. Listening and repeat. It's a fancy way of saying listening and repeat. You do that by listening and repeating. That I would focus on. So if your pronunciation for any sound is so poor that people can't understand you, excuse me 1 second. Taking out my tripod here. If it's so poor that people can't understand you, then yes, I would say you should fix that before you go to Korea or do any classes. But if it's only just my pronunciation isn't great, people have trouble understanding me, and it's that, then I would say don't worry about it. You will get better at that through regular Korean practice and shadowing. I wouldn't stress about it separately. The way I speak right now came from years and years and years of practicing. And people wouldn't tell me I sounded really good at Korean until I had been speaking it already for a couple years. Okay, let's see if this works. I have it on my tripod right now, just gently balanced. Hopefully it doesn't fall over. Okay. My arm was getting tired from holding it. And I was also like really close. I wanted to be a little farther away. Etch says, is Pomodoro good for studying? It's what it is, so I'll give a quick introduction. It is simply a branded word for what we like to call taking breaks while studying. And yeah, it works. It's a more structured version of taking breaks while studying, but it's not a separate study method by itself. So the way you can do it is you set how you're going to study in advance. So you say, hey, I want to study, I have an hour. But if you just sit down and study for an hour, you'll get distracted. You're not going to learn very well because it's just too much. So what you do is you say, hey, I have an hour, I'm going to study for 45 minutes. But you're going to make that 45 minutes be as effective as if you were studying for an hour without the break. So you say, I'm going to study for 30 minutes, and then you take a 10-minute break. And then you study for 10 minutes, and you take another 10-minute break, and then you take another, and then you study for the rest of the time. So by doing that, just breaking it up, it helps your brain feel fresh each time you do it. And there is no special way to do it. It's literally just take breaks while studying, branded as a fancy, I don't know, it sounds like Italian word. Yeah, do it. It's great. If you need it, though. Let's see, Alejandra Gonzalez says, what makes me feel better is that most foreigners that speak Korean comfortably to sounding like a native in live programs have studied Korean for 5 or 7 years. If it makes you feel even more comfortable, all of those TV programs are scripted, with the exception of the news. So yeah, I'm sure you would sound much better on top of however good you can speak Korean if you have a script in front of you and multiple takes. And I'm the same way as well when I do my the videos with KiCat. Those are, obviously those are skits, so those are scripted. So I can repeat it many times. And when I did my earlier videos, I'd have to repeat the same thing like 10 times because I would like flub my line, or I'd say it too fast, or I didn't like the way that I moved my face or moved my hand when I said it. And that's the same thing as on TV. So yeah, don't compare yourself. In fact, I would say it's dangerous to compare yourself to how someone speaks Korean on television or in any sort of media, unless you're seeing them live. Like this is live, but unless you're seeing it live, don't compare yourself to that, because that might not be an accurate reflection of them. And at the same time, even if it is, you don't know how long or how hard they've been studying Korean. So you might be feeling like, oh, this person's been studying, they say, for 3 years, and I've been studying for 3 years, and they speak way better. It's possible they've been studying 3 years, but living in Korea for 7. It's possible they studied Korean as a kid and then, grew up and never used it again, but they still have it, or there are a million things are possible. So don't compare yourself to others. Enormosaurus gets the spotlight today for all of their questions. Do you have any tips to do shadowing more effectively? It kind of feels like I'm spinning my wheels. Yes. So, tell me what you're using for shadowing, and I'll tell you if that's good or not. And I'll try to give you some suggestions. Generally, when you're shadowing, the idea is you want to listen to people who you want to imitate how they're speaking. Sorry, I was right here. A big group of people just came and sat right next to me. So I'm just going to move over here a little bit. That's fine. We'll get a change of scenery anyway. It'll be nice. Okay. What is this doing? Okay, so when you're shadowing, you'll pick content that you want to sound like. So you wouldn't shadow with, say, a law show. You wouldn't shadow with a drama, ever. Please do not do shadowing with Korean dramas. They are not speaking like real Korean speaks. If you're watching in English, no one speaks English by saying, I don't know who you are, but I will find you and I will kill you. Like, no one speaks like that, except for Liam Neeson. He actually does. That's his regular voice. They filmed it without him knowing. There was a big lawsuit that he didn't know he was in the movie. But every time you're watching a drama, that's not how they actually speak. Korean shadow practice, yeah, that's might not be a good idea because those clips could have come from dramas. Variety shows are okay, but again, the variety shows, depending on who it is, they could be someone who speaks really fast. Lauren says that's exactly how I speak. Yeah, Lauren is you've just doxed yourself. Now we know you're Liam Neeson's wife. So you want to make sure you're shadowing content that you can actually follow along. I think even better would be a podcast because they're speaking slower. If you find podcasts on the Naver Audio Clips app or Patbang, there are a few apps you can use for podcasts. They're all kind of similar, so don't think you have to use it. It's not paid. I wish they sponsored me, but Naver Audio Clip is a great source for that. You can find podcasts about anything you want. Someone asked, is Bibin Chat good? Yeah, Bibin Chat's fine. Check them out. They also have a separate channel. Oh, they're talking really loud. Bibin Chat is great, but they don't have a lot of episodes. I think they have just over 100. So you could quickly go through all of those if you're actually trying to practice shadowing. And you'll have to specifically pay attention to the people you want to imitate. So that might be Seungwon if you're a young male in your 20s. It could be Kyungwon or Kyunghwa if you're a woman. It could be Hyunwoo if you're a little bit older, like myself. And you pick someone you want to imitate, and whenever they speak, just when they speak, you try to say what they say as they're talking. You try to follow them, and even go back, click the back arrow to rewatch what they said and try to repeat it. That's shadowing. And yes, it does work pretty good. But if you're watching something that's too fast or too far above your level, you're going to feel embarrassed doing shadowing because it won't work. Like if someone's like, and you're trying to copy at that speed, it feels like you're failing. But I think Bibin Chat's pretty good for that because they do speak very slowly. As well as their Talk to Me in 100% Korean channel. Also, they speak quite slowly. It's not unnaturally slow, but it is much slower than you'll hear typically. So that'll be great practice. And podcasts as well. Let's go up here. There we go. Podcasts also are useful for that because podcasts are speaking extra clearly because they know you can't see what they're doing. You can't read their body language or see the situation, so they have to speak extra clearly. So I would try that. If you have a specific show you're watching and you're wondering, is this good for shadowing, feel free to send it to me. I'll let you know, yes or no, really quick. But the quick answer is no to dramas and movies, yes to variety shows and podcasts and YouTube channels. Just make sure that it's not too fast. Any other Korean questions? I've got 10 minutes left, only 10 minutes left here before I should turn off and go get some lunch, which has been so graciously paid for already. Today's lunch and maybe the lunch for the next week by Enormosaurus. I sometimes watch Arirang TV. They have a lot of content there, so some of it could be good and other might not be. Like if they have news programs, you probably don't want to use news for shadowing or for general language practice. I would definitely not recommend that. No matter what your level is, unless you're like already fluent, no matter what your level is, it's going to be above your level and less useful than other stuff. Running Man is great. Mukbang. If there's the problem with mukbang is, now it's like really close to me again. The problem with mukbang is the restaurant might be really full and I could be a bother to other people there if I'm sitting and talking to my camera. But it depends on the place. Cafe might be okay. The other issue though is my phone. Not my phone. This gimbal and my phone will probably die in like 20-30 minutes from now. So that might be a more urgent problem than taking you to eat. I could do a mukbang live stream though later. If that's something you'd want to see, I could plan for it because I do know some restaurants. In fact, I have some restaurants that I know the owners personally that I could go to. Yesterday I told you I met a famous Korean comedian, and he was the husband to the owner of a cafe that I know, which was near the grave of King Sejong. So that 100% I could do a live stream from there. Just say, hey, I'm going to do a stream here. They'll be like, okay, cool. Thanks for telling us. That would work. I have my friend who runs a pasta and pizza restaurant. He would always be happy to have me come by and film videos there. Let's see. Ali Rose says, do you have to get a new SIM card to use your phone in Korea? No. Nowadays, many plans will allow you to use roaming included in what you're paying. So I have Google Fi, and Google Fi is international roaming, and it's the same price for data in any country. It's like $10 per gigabyte. So I think I probably spend like $20 or $30 for these streams because of the gigabytes for that. But that's part of what I expect going to Korea. T-Mobile also does it, but T-Mobile's is slower. And that's the only information I have as of a few years ago. I'm sure there are other providers now that offer it as well. Yeah, caps at 60, that's right. So even if I use more than that, it's not going to charge me more than $60 no matter how much data I use. So it works pretty good. Okay, let's see. TR, take care. Let me just check the chat. A cooking stream. Yeah, cooking stream would be fun. Amy Lynn said, would you consider making videos where you talk only in Korean? Yes, I would consider that. I have an idea for a video for that. I just haven't had an opportunity to film one, but I have one in the works. Can you train? Icy Creation Inspiration asks a question to me. Can you train your brain to not translate Korean into English? Yes. And there isn't any way you train it though. It simply will happen by lots of speaking and lots of listening. You need both of those. And then one day you'll realize, hey, actually slowly you'll realize, hey, I can speak Korean without having to translate back and forth. And it's normal. You'll hear something in Korean and you're not going to think, what are they saying? You're just going to hear what they do say. Oh, Strauss asks an interesting question too. Strauss asks, is it true that Korean food simply tastes better in Korea as opposed to where you eat it somewhere else in the world? I would say yes, but not for the reason you might think. Not because the ingredients are higher quality or they cook better or anything like that, but simply because when you eat food in Korea, you get lots and lots of side dishes together with your food. And it's cheaper. So when you go eat, say, you want to get a good meal of kalbi in the States or somewhere else, and you pay $70, $60 per person, right? And you get a lot of food and you're happy, you have some sides, you're good. But what you didn't get was in Korea, that same meal would have cost you $30, so it's less pressure on you to enjoy the meal. You can relax. And you would have gotten 2 or 3 times as many side dishes to go with it and unlimited refills on those side dishes. So it's a better experience, I think. You feel like less pressured to treat it as a fancy meal and more of just a, hey, this is just my lunch. And that's what I've noticed a lot eating things in Korea, is I think Korean food is truly better in Korea because cheaper and more side dishes, more variety. And then when you go to a restaurant in the States, you might want, it'll be a restaurant specifically for one type of food usually. Like, here's the Korean barbecue restaurant, and they also have a couple items, but that's it, it's Korean barbecue. Here is the restaurant for this. But in Korea, you have the more options. So you can go to a restaurant and eat gogi, but then you can order a side of a different soup dish, or you want to get a different drink, or you want to get this, and they have lots of stuff. And yeah, it's true, the kimchi is better. Definitely, people are more picky about their kimchi here. So it's like, if it's not really good kimchi, people will just be like, it's gross. And I've been to some restaurants where I've tried the kimchi and it's not that great, and immediately you know that means the restaurant's gonna be terrible. So anytime you go to a restaurant in Korea, it's common people will taste the kimchi first. And if the kimchi's really good, that usually means your food's gonna be really good too. And if the kimchi is bad, like, if you think it's like, not that great, your food is going to be terrible. You're going to think this is not great. So that's very common. Good question. Trick asks another good question. Any tricks to get cheaper airfare to Korea? The secret to cheap airfare is first, you have to travel to a very important spot to get the cheapest airfare to Korea. And the spot is known as, prior to 2019, Korean airfare was much more affordable. The other tip I have is avoid going during the summertime and avoid going anytime during Christmas, because those are the most expensive times to travel to Korea. And there are some new airlines as well. There's a new airline called Air Premier, I believe. Actually, I'm going to be taking it later. And it's a Korean-run budget air. So budget airline, but run by Korea. So I'd expect it to be a little bit nicer, at least a little friendlier than something like, you know, some of the budget airlines you can get in other countries. So that's another option. Just try a budget airline. Be open to doing one-stop flights. Be open to different days. And many apps nowadays will also let you compare the cheapest times. I know Google Flights lets you compare the cheapest days to fly. So if you say, I want to fly in June, and you can search, it'll show you a calendar of what days have the cheapest dates. And sometimes like one day in a week will be $100 cheaper than the next day, or maybe a whole week will be all like $200 cheaper. That's really common. Kimchi jjigae, you spelled that correctly. Yeah, Premier or something like that. My local, DC says, my local Korean restaurant charges $20 for beef soup with no sides. So, funny story, one of my favorite foods is sundae, which is blood sausage. And I went to meet a friend earlier this year, and he treated me to blood sausage. He said, hey, I'll buy you some blood sausage. And I was thinking, like, how much is sundae in Korea? Literally, sundae in Korea is like $7. If you get it as a full plate, like it'll be less than $10,000. So like $7, $8 for this full plate that makes you full with a side of rice and sides, $10, less than $10. Or if you get it as a side dish together with tteokbokki, then sundae is like 3,000원, so like $2, $2 to $3. This restaurant was in California. And the sundae plate, which was a little bit bigger, it was about twice the size of a side dish. So it was about $6 worth of sundae, was $35. $35 for that. Now, fortunately, I didn't pay. I would not have ever paid that much for sundae, but. Darcel, hey Darcel, thank you so much. I am so happy I have my lunch paid for this week. For this weekend as well. For good luck, you say, as I will begin your Korean lessons in 2 weeks. Awesome. I hope you have it in your calendar. Please make a simple for yourself study schedule so you can kind of keep yourself on track to finish that course. That's awesome. I remember when I was first starting to study Korean, one of my friends tried to teach me the alphabet, a Korean friend, and I was just like, I see, okay. All right, yeah, I get it. That makes sense. And they said, okay, now try writing ma, I think, or mo. And I'm like, and I was like looking at the chart, trying to match up the letters to make the syllable, and it was wrong. And they're like, try again. We have a Korean takeaway on my campus, which is pricey, Lauren says, which is pricey, but the convenience of it makes it worth it. Yeah, that would be great if you have something available. That's another thing, is that when you're in Korea, you can walk. You can walk to the supermarket. You can walk to the restaurants you eat at. In the US, I mean, you can if you live in the center of a big city. Otherwise, you have to drive, or maybe you can walk, but there's only like one choice that you can get. Whereas in Korea, you want Korean food, well, you walk 10 feet outside your door. There's a restaurant right next to in fact, it's in the same building as your apartment is. Or you walk across the street and there's a shopping center. Walk the other way, then there's a subway, and near the subway station there are restaurants. You have just so many choices, which makes it great. You know, you suddenly want to eat some kimchi jjigae. So, well, that restaurant has it, that restaurant has it, that restaurant has it, and you can find your favorite. Taeyoung's Kuma says, I live in a Korean area of my city, and I really have to control myself from stopping and reading every sign. You don't have to stop yourself, just read it. That's what I did. One of the things I have written in my original study notebook, and I keep my original study notebook, I've shown them on screen before, one thing is I used to write down all of the garbage I would read on signs, just like that. So I would have words like, you know, I couldn't introduce myself, but I knew the word suri for like repair, like mending clothing, or susan actually would be for mending, and suri would be like for repair. Like I knew these words when I was like a beginner, even though I didn't know the word for like, I'm hungry yet. I would just write down all the stuff from signs. And some of it will become useful, even if all of it isn't. I would just say go for it. Just read all the signs. Darcel says, we have a Korean dog vendor at our mall, but I haven't been able to get there yet. Dog vendor, interesting. I'm wondering what breeds they would have. There are only a couple like Korea specific breeds that I know of. There's one like there's a North Korean dog I've seen before, and then there's the Jindoke, the Jindo dog, which I think nowadays though I heard something about like they're restricted in a lot of areas in Korea. Yeah, Jindo, but I don't know. Okay, I should finish my stream. I should go eat. I should go eat my lunch now. My $450 lunch. Right? It's got to be $450. I think even if I ordered literally everything on the menu at a restaurant, there's no way I could spend $450 in one meal. No matter where I went. If I did like one of each of every menu. No, even if I didn't limit myself to one of each, it would be impossible to eat that much. Even at like the most fancy restaurant I can think of that I went to once, which my brother-in-law took me to once before. And that was like $50 per serving of a really fancy meat. I wouldn't be able to spend that much on one meal. Yeah, I should go eat, but let me just take two more questions. Let me just take two more short questions and then we'll sign off for today. Again, this is my stream for saying thank you to everyone for 600,000 subscribers, which I will reach sometime today or tomorrow. Okay, quick, two more questions, preferably related to Korean. Enormosaurus, thank you so much again. Chukayo, congrats on 6,000K again. Enormosaurus says, thank you for always making amazing content and more to come. I promise there's much more content to come. Okay, let's say this question. One question first. Billy, Fisho asks, Billy, have you ever seen a foreigner master Korean? If by master you mean, no, let's define these terms. If by foreigner you mean someone who did not grow up speaking Korean even until they were a teenager, someone who learned Korean from let's say the end of high school, so a college or adult age. And if you mean master as in speaking it just like a native, the answer is no. I've never seen that. But if you're asking people, if you're saying foreigner as someone who learned Korean as an adult and speaks it almost like a native, really, really good, yeah, I've seen it. If you're asking someone who speaks it completely fluently, not exactly like a native, but can say anything they want to say, sounds very good, confident, yeah. I mean, I would fall in that camp. Tons of people would fall in that camp. So yes, definitely. But you don't need to expect yourself to speak like a native, like 100% like a native, because only native speakers are native speakers. And there isn't any way to get around that unless you also put yourself in a native speaking environment for the amount of time as a native speaker as well. But don't compare yourself, but put your goals instead to be as high as fluent. Fluent is a completely realistic goal. And anyone can reach that with enough time and enough practice. Okay, one more question. Tyler, yeah, Tyler would be one example. But not the only one. There are many people, there are many Tylers. Although actually that's not true. There's only one Tyler. But there are many people, if you're talking about the Korean level, there are many people who can reach a very high Korean level. Okay, let's see, one more Korean question. What do you do if you feel you aren't improving? You record yourself. You write down or you record a video of yourself using Korean. You get a voice recorder and you speak into it, reading your sentences. Anything to record where you're currently at, and then forget about it for 6 months. Or if you're new, forget about it for a couple months. If you've been studying Korean for a long time, forget about it for a year. Then go back and listen to it. And do another one while you're at it. Then go back and listen to it, and then you will feel you are improving. Sometimes you are improving a lot and you can't feel it. If you do that and a month later though, if you're a beginner and you do that and you still don't notice any improvement in your pronunciation or your speed or your intonation or the words you're using or grammar or vocabulary, anything, you notice no improvement, then that's when you reanalyze the methods you're using for studying Korean. You can think about how much time you're spending learning Korean, what sources you're using for listening practice. Are you practicing Korean, speaking with anyone? Then you can kind of think about those things. And then you can send me an email and say, hey, I've done what you said a month later. Now what do you suggest? So that's what I would say. All right, everyone, thank you so much. This has been, I know we haven't done anything eventful here. I asked someone for directions and we saw a show. That was the most eventful thing in the stream. But this is probably the best live stream I've ever had for other reasons. Thank you so much everyone for attending and for congratulating me. I also am congratulating myself. I'm gonna get a nice lunch for hitting 600,000 subscribers. Let's hope that another year, 2, 3 years, we'll be meeting again and we'll hit 1 million subscribers. And in the meantime, I have lots of new Korean learning content coming up, more videos for analyzing K-pop speakers, speaking Korean, more courses coming up, new books, everything. So stay tuned for that. Thank you again so much. And of course, as always, I will see you again next time. 그럼 다음에 또 봐. Oh wait, I can't go too far away or this phone will fall over. It's blowing in the wind. Okay, bye everyone.